Jim Rohn said, success is what you attract by the person you become. How do you become? You become by designing the exact person you want to be and becoming that person right now. You see, I find most people believe that success is by accident or by luck. I believe that success is by design. Hi, I'm Alfonso Quadra, entrepreneur, author, speaker, and creator and host of this program. You see, I went from being a 15-year-old, war-torn, homeless high school dropout to running a successful corporation by 20 years old. But what happened? Did the world change? Did people change? No. I discovered that for things to change in my life, I had to change. I made a list of goals at 17 years old, and I designed the exact life I wanted to live. At 20 years old, I achieved everything on that list. Success is not by accident, but it is by design. Welcome to the Success by Design show, where we bring you stories and formulas of successful people that have designed their own success. Today in the studio, we have Barbara Munshaw, and she is a social media expert.
Yes.
So first of all, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And today we're talking all about social media, and it's kind of, some people are kind of scared, some people are experts, some people claim to be experts. But for someone that potentially wants to start a business or, have this in their, be part of their business model, how do we use social media for business?
There's two ways you use social media for business. One is to be ranked higher on the internet. Google looks at Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, which are the popular three, and they rank your business and your website because of your presence on there. It's become such an important part of marketing that if you're not using them, Google will rank you lower.
So you would say that social media has to, it gives you a ranking on Google.
Yes. It also has become so big, a big part of a marketing strategy that some banks, when they look at your overall marketing strategy, if you don't have social media in there, when they do your scoring of your business, they will score you lower. Because in order to grow your business, you have to be part of what marketing totally encases.
Wow.
Okay? So if you go to sell your business or expand your business and you haven't started that, they're saying, well, wait a minute, it's not valued the same.
So it used to be you have a business plan, you have maybe a marketing strategy, and now you're saying that a social media strategy needs to be in place for the banks to look at it.
They seriously look at that.
Wow.
Yes, and it should be part of your exit strategy.
Yes.
Should you decide that at some point you want to leave your business.
So some people, they say, oh, social media, I'm just going to post some stuff on Facebook. Is that something that works, or?
It does and it doesn't. The whole thing about social media is connecting with people, getting them to know who your business is, who works in your business. Are you the business owner? Because when websites first came out, people had a disconnect with the owner. Okay, they only had this static site to look at. And with so many people spending so much time on the internet, it's their way of connecting with the business owner than having to walk into your place ahead of time. So giving them information on your business just isn't enough. It would be no different than if a client or customer walked into your store, you don't ignore them. So if they're on your social sites, you don't ignore them either. They're there to find out more about you and your business and build that trust.
Now we live in a society where people are looking for instant results. And I find that on social media, you don't get that instant gratification. A lot of people might be frustrated. I posted this and it's not working. Do you think or believe that a social media strategy is more like a marathon as opposed to a sprint?
Yes. Oh, it's very long term. Anything on the internet you do, the mistake a lot of business owners make is because they can instantly put it on there, they're going to have instant success. And they see companies who claim that the internet has given them instant success. If that happens, it's usually like a firecracker. It goes off and it's done. There's no longevity to it. So without a long-term strategy to see when visitors are posting, when they're there to see your postings, okay? Marketing is all about test and fail, test and fail. Social media is no different.
Yeah.
Okay, it's testing your market, seeing what works and what doesn't work.
So how did you become so knowledgeable in this field? Like, what's your story? How did you get into becoming a social media expert?
When I moved here from Thunder Bay 5 years ago.
North.
And I had a concrete company there, but it was relatively easy. I walked into an existing business, I bought it, I learned everything about concrete, and people just came to me. I didn't have to market myself at all, although there were 5 other companies in the city. Then when I moved to Ottawa, I thought, well, what am I going to do now? And I wanted to help businesses, but I didn't know anybody in Ottawa. So I started doing what every business owner does, is I started going to networking events. I thought this is a great way for me, new in the city, to meet other business owners. And that was great, but I also found it wasn't everything. And I thought businesses aren't growing their business enough just by going to the networking events. So I looked and talked to many people to find out what it is that is going to be coming next. And it was social media. And it was before most people had adopted any theories on social media in the city of Ottawa. So I took about 1.5 to 2 years, almost 2 years, and studied everything about marketing online, social media, and I had a few small clients filter in those 2 years, but I spent a lot of time.
So do you think that from the time you started investigating social media, do you feel that the strategy has changed?
Oh yeah, because in Ottawa it was all new. You know, it had been more popular in the larger centers, but in Ottawa it was fairly new, so people were just posting whatever.
So you think, how often should we change the strategy?
It depends on your audience. You have to look at your audience and say, what are they doing? What are they looking at? And learn to adopt from there.
So for example, for you, what was that moment that you said, this is working for me. This is social media. I know how to help people. What was that moment? What was your aha moment that you said, this is what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life?
The first time I taught a client how to use social media, and they came to me and said, I got my first client.
Wow.
From Facebook, and they thanked me so much, and then their business just grew from there, and I went, wow, that was so gratifying for me and for the business owner. So
you feel there's a lot of people out there that are struggling with social media? You feel that a lot of people out there, they're doing all these things, and we're going back to the 80-20 rule, that 20% of your activities actually equal 80% of your results. Yeah. So you feel that a lot of people are doing things that are really irrelevant?
They are, but it's because I find a lot of times the problem is they're listening to a friend. They're on Facebook just as casual. They're not using it for business. So they make it look really easy. Oh, I made all these friends and I'm talking to all these people, but they're not business owners. Mm-hmm. And they haven't had proper training. So they're doing all the wrong things. They're following what just a personal person would do on Facebook, and it's not the same strategy.
So how does someone take, let's say, a Facebook profile and convert it into a customer? Because a lot of people have, I have 300 friends, but not all of them are customers. No. How do you take your friends and actually convert them into buying customers?
Learning what it is they like and what they're talking about and communicating with, building that trust. It works no different than a networking event. When you go to a networking event, it takes time, and you build a relationship, and they get to know you, and they build trust, and they recommend you to their friends. The social sites work exactly the same way. They want to know about you. They want to know about your friends and how you're commenting and how you're connecting with people on there. And if somebody has a complaint about your business, how did you handle that?
Should we delete a complaint?
Never.
Or we should never?
Never.
You address it right away.
Exactly. Because people understand businesses have problems. Something happens. Something goes wrong. It's life. We all have something go wrong. It's how you deal with it. Wow. That will make the difference between whether that customer converting to still a customer and say, you know what, that was good customer service. We understand stuff happens, but it's how you handle it. And then people see that. Instead, when you ignore them and delete them, it's like, again, having a customer walk in and saying, I don't want to talk to you because something didn't go right.
You know, that's so right. I think that social media actually is bringing companies actually they're being forced to engage with their customers.
Yes.
Now before there was kind of a disconnect.
Yep.
Where social media is kind of bringing us together.
Exactly. And people think it's bringing us apart, but I see it more as bringing us together, because so many people have such busy lives, and they spend a lot of time on the internet pre-shopping and talking to their friends. It's a way, again, for that mom and pop corner store. Bring that mom and pop feeling into your Facebook.
Wow. So for people out there that are starting a business, or they want to get into social media, or they just don't have a clue, what are 3 tips that you can offer us that we can just take and run with it right away?
The first tip is look at the people on your current Facebook and see what they're talking about. I've heard so many people say, oh, well, somebody posted they had coffee today. Why do I care? You should care. That tells you a lot about that person.
That's incredible. So listening as opposed to...
Listening instead of just hammering out the information. And then engaging. Engaging is very important. Okay, so if somebody had a bad day, I'm sorry you had a bad day. You don't have to go into a long story. You don't have to... But acknowledging them, just like you would anywhere else. If somebody said to you, I had a lousy day today, would you just turn and walk away?
Absolutely not.
But say, I'm sorry to hear that.
Engaging.
Okay? Engaging. When you're posting anything, give somebody some valuable tips, just like we're doing here.
So add value.
Okay, add value to your posts. Okay, just don't make them random.
I had a hot dog today.
Yeah.
It's making my stomach turn.
Yeah, exactly. So offer a tip about your business. People ask questions in your business, answer them on the social sites.
Do you find that the more tips you offer, people come back to you, check you
sure.
more often?
I post a lot of tips. That's
nice.
All day long I post tips. And that doesn't mean I'm not going to get them as clients, because the people who would hire you are going to hire you anyway. But it makes them realize that you are knowledgeable and sharing. You're willing to share what you know. And that's very, very important.
And the last tip?
The last tip is be comfortable. It's you and your business. So add some of your personality in there.
Add a little bit of yourself.
Add a little bit of yourself. Make it personable. So even when you're commenting, make it somewhat personal. But even when you're posting, add a little of your personality in there as well. Don't be shy.
So Barbara, we have some viewers that want a little bit they're following personal development. They want to add value to themselves. Mm-hmm. What is a quote that you live by?
I live by treat everybody with integrity.
Treat everybody with integrity.
Mm-hmm.
And why does that resonate with you?
It resonates with me because I find there's too much fake out there, and people try to pretend something they're not, and they try to hype up whatever service or products they have. And being honest and living with integrity will always win in the end of the day.
Barbara, I want to thank you for coming on the program today.
Thank you for having me.
And we'll be back with Success by Design Show.